this thing on? Hi guys, Angelo again. I haven't wanted to make this video because I see this happen a lot as I teach as an educator for Wella professionals and Sebastian Knox and all those. This is just like a little personal tip for me. Going through haircutting programs like Vidal Sassoon, Wella Cutcraft, Sebastian Local Cutting Jam, everything that I learned when I worked at Regis for 6 years, and everything that I've learned from every mentor and friend of mine, instructor, educator, like I want to like throw this out there because this is something I was taught in hair school, didn't make sense to me. I stopped doing it, and I yet still see so many people doing this kind of thing with their cutting, and I see it being taught in schools a lot, and I don't really get why. So I'm gonna try to like walk you through this and kind of hope to make this make sense. It's about layers. It's about layers, especially long layers. I think that's the most common long haircut you do is a long layered haircut, right? So I have a mannequin that I pre-cut and colored. This is, I'm gonna lift her up a little bit so you can actually see how long she is. She's not that long, but I kind of quickly cut this mannequin so I could show you what I want to tell you. So the thing, I have a kind of a pet peeve when it comes to cutting layers, and I tell people that when I'm teaching a class, because it's like I want you to really like truly think about what you're doing, why you're doing it. When you're cutting hair, it's like sculpting in reverse. You're creating a shape. You can only take hair away. You can't put it back on. Once it's gone, it's pretty much gone. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna fix that real quick. And this is actually something that happens that I think people do, and they can't fix it. So whatever. So first thing is be mindful what you're cutting. I once had someone ask me like, you know, I pulled it out here, how much do I cut off? It's like you want to focus about what you're leaving on and the shape you're making. Don't think about inches, centimeters. It's like, where will this fall? How will it look? When it comes to hair cutting, I feel like people just kind of figure their own pathway out. And that's not bad, but really if you are strong in your cutting skills and know your physics and know what you're doing and you're pulling things to certain angles and guides and let them go, they should fall the way you expect them, right? So perfect example, if I'm taking this hair up front and pulling it back here to cut it, we're gonna get something called over direction. So if I know that, if I do that, and say put all this hair up here back like this, what's gonna happen when it falls is the hair in front is going to be longer than the hair that I cut in the back. It's gonna swing. So here's the thing I wanna talk about with the layers. Long layers, a lot of times people I see them do this. I see them kind of go, we'll do this time. I see people do this. They kind of look at the hair, they do this with their finger, and for some reason I see people do this, grab a hunk of hair, and they kind of haphazardly comb it up, hold it up here, cut it, and then they let go, and they kind of shag it around, flounce it, look at it, and then decide maybe I want more. They grab another handful and chop it, and it's like they lose their guides. You don't know what, you're just getting lost in a haircut. So the proper way to cut a layer, if you're gonna section it that way, is by using your comb, meeting with your finger, opening up the hair, getting it out of the way. Again, my comb is pointed to where my finger is, so comb that down, open it up. You can see I have a clean section on both sides, right? You're gonna pull it all the way up. You're going to pull the hair up nice and tight. It's a little harder on dry hair because you get dropout. Pull it up nice and tight. You want hair to come out, like you can see how this is falling out, right? Because that, if I cut through that, that's the length. If I cut through that, when I look at the bottom and the perimeter, I've got a hole. The only thing you can do about that is cut it shorter. So we don't want that. So people do that, or go up here, you're gonna hold it tight, keep it there, don't drop it like this. You're gonna hold it there, and you're gonna cut, just like that. And you should get a nice, if you can see that, but a nice crisp line, right? Now what people start doing is they've been told, for some reason, to cut the corners of the haircut because a corner is an anchor point, right? And that's not a lie. However, corners are weight points. So if we need a weight point somewhere, we need a weight point somewhere. So what people do is they bring it out like this and they go, oh, corner, and they go, and they go, oh, there's a corner down here, and then what you've done with the expanded shape is you've taken this line and made it do this, okay? And then what you get is, you get a corner up here, and when that part falls, what you see is a weight point floating around the head, and you can't really do anything about it, except cut the corner off again. So this is a never-ending battle of cutting corners. So this haircut is all cut, what we call square layers, where everything's pulled directly up and cut flat. and then let go, and it's, you know, fine. There's also round layers where it's similar to the haircut I said not to do, but if you start here, see how it's elevated before 90 degrees, and you create this round shape haircut. And then there's also concave, which is the opposite of head shape. So if rounded being head shape, concave is going to be opposite head shape. So it's going to be like someone put a bowl on top of your head, and your layers are going to be cut short along that way, and you create this umbrella effect. Now, the reason of why you do which one is all about suitability and balance, right? So long layered haircuts are often going to be like a haircut like this, where it's a square layer, straight up, or it's going to be a concave layer. Round layers are very rarely done on long hair. Usually a round layer is done on like a shag or a pixie or something that's going to have a lot of like swooshy movement. So that's my pet peeve, I guess I'll tell you, is, you know, if you're cutting layers, make sure you're doing it mindful. Make sure you're trying to figure out what you're trying to create here. If you do that thing that I told you not to do, where you keep cutting your corners, what's going to happen is you're going to have really thin ends because you've cut all the weight of it out, and you're going to have a really bubbly, like, shaggy haircut. If that's what you're going for, cool, but like, just know that that's what will happen if you cut the hair that way. I hope this enlightens people. Use your corners. If you have corners and you need that weight point, you know, leave them out. This is a perfect example of this mannequin. You can see their ends are really, really fine already. They're see-through. If I did that haircut with those layers that way, like, these would be so thin, they'd look fried and see-through. So because it's got thin hair, I'm keeping my corners. If I had someone with a ton of hair, I might have to, you know, cut my corners out to maybe like a round. But if you go past, you know, this 90-degree pullout, if you go like this, you're gonna get that weight point, and it's graduation, which we'll talk about in another video. If you have questions, feel free to comment, and, you know, like, subscribe, the whole thing. I will get back to you and comment them, and if you have any other content you'd like me to cover, shoot me a comment and I will do my best to help you. So anyways, toodaloo for now.